Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all doing well, and today, my friends, we're back with a super sweaty matchup. It's going to be Warriors of Chaos facing off against Tomb Kings, Dr. Jellyfish versus Chromo Sumo. So as far as the lords go, it looks like it's going to be the Ever-Chosen and Grand Hierophant Katep. Pretty good lord. He can just spam the cheap spells, get the massive healing across your entire army. It's the reason why the Tomb Kings are super good. Granted, you don't necessarily have to use Katep. There's plenty of other options. Now, as far as the Warriors of Chaos army goes, it is going to be Warriors and Marauders. Warriors perform reasonably well against Tomb Kings. If you're looking at pretty much any of the Tomb Kings infantry, with the exception of the Kepler Guard, the Chaos Warriors will be able to win those fights. Now, the issue for the Warriors of Chaos becomes shutting down the backline assets, like the Ushopti Great Bows, perhaps Screaming Skull Catapults, which are often used against like Norska. So those are the threats that you really kind of have to deal with. It looks like we do have some Chaos Trolls as well. Tomb Kings do have some mass. We have things like Ushopti, we have Tomb Scorpions, we have the Sphinxes, and also Trolls, if they can get on top of Ushopti Great Bows and backline threats, they can take them to Pound Town for sure. I mean, they hit really hard with 100 weapon strength and pop. Horsemen on the side, obviously no Chaos player can leave home without Marauder Horsemen. Even though they're not like amazing against Tomb Kings, still just having something mobile that you can stick and move and maybe poke down a big target a little bit is always a good idea. Now, Archaon, he's a good lord. Obviously, for the longest time when Warriors of Chaos weren't being just chain banned in every single match, but I guess some people decide to let them through, right? But Archaon the Ever-Chosen is very, very good. He has Spirit Leech and he has Burning Head, and that's a really ideal kit against the Tomb Kings, because Burning Head, you can just use it to roast their infantry, and then Spirit Leech, you can use it to snipe characters and SEMs and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, he's a raid boss of a fighter too. I mean, Archaon has 94 speed on that thing. I mean, he is just a track star. I've had like horse characters on other factions. I'm like, oh, they have like 76, 80 speed, and Archaon's just like thundering around with 94 speed, insane combat stats. And people always forget Archaon is a really good mass. He's got 3,100 mass for like a horse character. That is super, super high. Now, for the Tomb Kings, it's going to be very standard stuff. Nehekar Warrior spam with just basic Tomb Guard and skeletons across the entire battle line. I do like having the one catapult on this lane here. I feel like that's kind of a cool idea. So if your opponent like split pushes here, it can shoot. Also, the catapult probably can reach the center as well and go to objective 2. So that's kind of cool positioning as well here from Chromo Sumo. Chromo does also have Grand Hierophant Katep here. And he's just bringing the cheap spells. That's all you really do. You just bring those, and what it does is it triggers the Restless Dead. So your entire army is going to be getting healed for over 1% of its HP every single time you cast a spell, which is crazy good, right? Like 1% of like 10,000 HP is pretty substantial, not insignificant. So the battle is on. Ushopti Great Bow sitting here, the Chosen of the Gods. A very, very good unit for shooting at horsemen, but the horsemen are hiding in the trees, so they will mitigate some of the damage coming in, but nonetheless taking some heavy casualties. Probably going to want to pull those guys back here. And now the horsemen have been given the order, and Archaon coming up maybe to drop a Spirit Leech on either the Chosen of the Gods or on Grand Hierophant Katep here. It's probably going to be one of them. We'll have to see where that Spirit Leech goes. Burning Head also, but typically you want to wait till somebody's like entrenched in combat for Burning Heads, unless they're, you know you're playing like a newer player or something. Because if it's just obvious and they're on the move, it's not only harder to hit when they're moving, but most people will be very hyper-focused at this point in the battle. It's very easy to see there's only one threat moving forward, so their attention will be on this area. Whereas if it's a big battle with multiple engagements across, just like it often is in domination mode, you're going to be able to get Burning Heads off much more effectively. Now in the backfield, it looks like some Poison Hounds trying to loop around. Very, very cheeky play. Good micro here so far from Dr. Jellyfish. They have not been caught yet, but there's some Skeleton Horsemen right on their tail, so as soon as they break pace, they're going to get karate chopped. Obviously, Hound units aren't going to fight very well versus Horsemen. It looks like he was trying to get on the Screaming Skulls, which is a good call. And he might have forced an unsummon here. No, I don't think he did. I think that was the same catapult moving across. And now the Warriors of Chaos are going to be capturing several objectives. So they have objective 2, they have the middle objective, and objective 3 here in the back. 1 is going to be contested, but it looks like the Warriors of Chaos, with a very aggressive posture and a more defensive Tomb King's position, are going to be moving up with a bunch of warriors, and they should be able to get their hands on these objectives. Now, Hellstriders of Slaanesh, one of the best units in the entire game. These things cost only 600 gold, they have anti-large, and you can see how much damage they're doing against the Eyes of the Desert, and that's with eating a full volley on the charge. If you left them in sustained combat, the Hellstriders would probably get them down to like, they might even win the fight if these skeletons didn't arrive. It's a little bit hard to say. They have a lot of crazy buffs. But Tomb Kings look to be going for a back push against the Warriors of Chaos, but not going to be easy. Archaon the Ever-Chosen's here, and that's the thing. That's why Warriors of Chaos are so strong. Honestly, if Hellstriders weren't as busted as they were, like Warriors of Chaos would be a reasonably balanced faction. Still upper top tier, I think, but not quite as crazy. Forsaken are very good against Tomb King's infantry. They hit incredibly hard against light armor, and on the charge, they get that nice charge bonus. You can immediately see these Tomb Guard Halberds, which are an armor-piercing unit, are taking a wild beating from these Forsaken. Like big, big damage. They have 63 weapon strength. So I'm a big fan of Forsaken for sure. I think that against Tomb Kings, they certainly have a place. Archaon going to be using a Spirit Leech, and with a little bit of micro, Archaon could probably slip over there and get after Grand Hierophant Katep. And in the meantime, really nice maneuvering from the Chaos player here. He's able to get these Hellstriders around the top. and he is able to sandwich the Chosen to the gods. This is going to be very painful. 100 speed, you're not going to be getting away. Slaanesh going to give it to you, and they do get the rear charge there. Devastating flanker coming into play. Do they have that? I can't remember. I don't think they do. I think they have the Soul Hunter, so a little bit different, but even still, really, really nice engagement. Shutting down the Ushabti Great Bow is going to be allowing the Chaos units to shine all over the battlefield, and you are currently seeing the strength of Hellstriders. As they're just swarming and they're so fast, not only are they good at killing large targets, but with 100 speed, they can dive backline super efficiently, right? And if your opponent wants to counter your backline dive with their own horsemen, they're going to beat them. So that really is kind of the issue with them. You have to kind of stop them with infantry, which can't catch them. So it's a tricky one. Tomb Kings, though, do get the back objective. Here we do see the Nekar Warriors, and the Forsaken are probably going to be losing simply just due to the Kepra Guard kind of piling in on that fight as well. Granted, I do think Warriors of Chaos with a home field advantage here will probably be able to summon in enough stuff in tandem with Archaon using Burning Heads. Now, down in the middle, we do see the Chaos Warriors grinding very effectively. The Hellstriders of Slaanesh just absolutely handling this Halberd unit, taking some casualties in the process, but again, they're a much cheaper unit. Much more dynamic, and yeah, that's going to be turbo cost effective. His Ground Hierophant Kotzeb is also getting smashed as well. So here he's going to be surrounded by trolls. Looks like he fled the high ground only to be paying the troll toll, truly, as they do get that nice beating on him, and he has a little bit of support via the spears, but, you know, on foot, I think on horse is probably the best bet for him. I think it's going to be a little bit safer, but nonetheless, Tomb Kings are a little bit resurgent here in the backfield. We do see some Tomb Scorpion action as well as Skeleton Horsemen. They're going to be moving up to Objective 1 here in tandem with these Nekar Warriors, and they should be able to re-secure this. The Tomb Scorpion will probably get an easy terror route on these Marauders once they get a little bit beat up. And once again, more Hellstriders coming in. So the Total War Warhammer Hellstrider edition is here, as they do charge into the Skeletons. Going to be a very decisive fight. Granted, Hellstriders themselves don't have the best defensive stats, so they will take some L's against Horsemen, and honestly, not the worst trade for Tomb Kings, but you're still going to have to send another unit over there to get the job done. In the backfield, this objective owned by Tomb Kings. Archaon doing his best to take down the Kepra Guard, but Kepra Guard are a raid boss of a unit. Very, very good. There's a reason why these are two top-tier factions. And we do see the Forsaken continue to buzzsaw through these warriors right here. Certainly some solid damage. And yeah, Forsaken, quite like him. Not too much value, only about 200-300 value, but there is much more time to be had here. Now, looking at the overall macro state of the battlefield, we do see the Tomb Kings do have a single cap. The middle objective is also being contested by Tomb Kings infantry, and this is how Tomb Kings often win games, is their capture weight is insane. Their skeletons have full capture weight, whereas Vampire Counts don't. It's kind of a strange oversight from Creative Assembly, but there's a lot of little weird nuances like that in the game, but it's really, really a big factor as to their strength. I mean, the main thing is their healing, really. With Kotzeb, but if Kotzeb's going to be dying, or it doesn't have to be Kotzeb, any Nekar caster, but I believe he might have gotten killed in the middle, which is going to be pretty substantial. That will definitely give the Warriors of Chaos a solid fighting chance. Some more Horsemen charging into Horsemen here, so a serious duel. Chaos Warriors with armor. I don't hate that. You know, Tomb Kings do have a lot of low armor-piercing infantry outside of the halberds. That's not a terrible inclusion. And Archaon does also have really good splash attacks. So he's able to kind of cleave through these infantry as the halberd's crumbling, and with the assistance of the Forsaken, Archaon should be able to handle the Kepra Guard, especially if he wants to pop like a Burning Head. Fight or Die active, really, really nice, and Charge Reflection, that's kind of cool. But here comes the Burning Head. It will apply a leadership penalty to the Tomb Guard as well as the Kepra Guard, both of whom are very, very close to crumbling. So that's going to be a little bit of extra damage. Now, in the middle, we do see the Tomb Kings starting to control the battlefield, which is funny. You look at this and you're like, wow, Chaos is up by like 2,000 or 3,000 value. But remember, Realm of Souls, Kotzeb is back from the dead because with his current kit, he only probably costs like, oh goodness, how much do he cost? Why can't I pull up the unit card? There we go. Probably like 600-800, something like that. So it's not really a big deal to lose him. And, you know, every unit's going to be getting constant heals. So to really beat Tomb Kings, you need to be up by quite a bit of value. And, you know, Chaos does have a nice little value lead right now, but we'll find out in this game. Is it going to be enough? Marauders on their way in. Trolls on the run. And Archaon, the Ever-Chosen, going to be trying to help secure the midfield here. Backfield just being absolutely harassed by these Hellstriders. Basically, the Tomb Kings can't summon in anything of quality, like Ushabti Great Bow, any sort of a construct. Like, it's only infantry spam because the Hellstriders will just run down whatever they bring. Backfield objective, though, just so we talked about earlier, has been re-secured by the Tomb Scorpion, one of the cooler looking models in the game. And now the Tomb Scorpion going to be trampling that poor Marauder there and heading down to the middle objective to try and grab that, as the Hellstriders do get a really, really nice charge in the back there. Beautiful stuff. Slaanesh certainly knows how to get those rear charges. Meanwhile, Archaon, the Ever-Chosen, going to be bolstering his formation, giving those nice buffs of Encourage, which is cool. And we do see some Chaos Chariots coming out. So now Tomb Kings don't really have a bunch of mass. They're mainly spamming infantry to win on the capture weight game. We do get the opportunity to see the Chaos Chariots coming out. You don't need the big Gore Beasts against Tomb Kings. Most of their infantry are pretty lightly armored. So the basic Chaos Chariots honestly will do a really, really good job. And Good control here for Mr. Jellyfish as he does continue to go after those targets. And this is a pretty dream situation as well. The Tomb Scorpion has no buffering here. Archaon has the Slayer of Kings, baby. 870 weapon strength. He's going to be cleaving through this Tomb Scorpion, especially with his troll buddies nearby. The trolls have 100 weapon strength to pop, tons of armor piercing. Trolls have always been pretty decent against like Tomb King's constructs. The only issue you have to worry about is like terror routes and leadership. But if they're in an ideal winning situation, they will for sure be able to crump those constructs. And yeah, Tomb Scorpion here really paying the price, which is going to be giving Dr. Jellyfish even more of a lead. But you see what I'm saying about Tomb Kings, like that healing, even though they seem to be getting pounded in terms of trading and value, they're still somehow in the game. Just their infantry just so persistent. But, you know, these two factions really deserve each other. Both Tomb Kings and Warriors of Chaos are heavily overtuned. So, you know, it's when they run into each other in tournaments, it's kind of like that meme with the guy like smiling and nodding his head. It's like, yeah, you know, this is fair. They both have some good tools. So Archaon's still going to work. He's up to about 2,400 value, which is really, really good with the burning heads. A little bit of backline pressure, kind of an interesting one. We do see some skeleton horsemen waiting up in the hills, but the thing about trying to like backcap Warriors of Chaos and Slaanesh in general is even if you think you have a cheeky backcap, you get some units over there, they're going to respond so quickly with fast units that it's very, very tough to do. Typically more centralized grinds against those factions I think is slightly more effective. Now down here, Tomb Kings are starting to lose the objective, but there's going to be a million more skeletons coming on. Currently, Tomb Kings get those 2 skeletons on, and their capture weight advantage is 13, which is 2 infantry plus 1 cavalry, basically. Back objective here, completely unguarded, but Warriors of Chaos are, you know, they could send some Hellstriders up, but they don't have fast capture weight. Most likely, you could do like a slow push with some Marauders, Forsaken, or Warriors, but I think Chaos is very content, considering that they do have a points lead right now. Not a huge one, but still a points lead nonetheless, to just push the middle and try and grind and get the win there. Really nice burning head right there. Does go through some of those skeleton warriors. Also going to be tickling these other skeleton warriors, doing some pretty substantial damage. Also taking leadership, which does lead to a little bit of crumbling. And the fight for the middle is on. Forsaken and Trolls grinding to the best of their abilities, but Tomb Kings are the masters of the grind, and they're going to be sending in more warriors. These chariots are certainly working overtime. They've only gotten about 400 value so far, but I think they only cost 800, 900, so you know, they're full health too. They for sure will pay for themselves before all is said and done. Now, Chaos is going to be sending in warriors and marauders, basically just both players throwing all the tools they have at the wall. But once again, the Realm of Souls going down. Tomb King's getting a massive heal. If you look at the Tomb King's unit card here, you should be able to see it, although I think it just wore off as I was looking at it there. Yeah, that's Fighter Die from Archaon. But yeah, they're going to be getting those constant heals as Ground Hero from Kotzep. He learned his lesson earlier. He ate some Chaos Axes and Troll Clubs to the face. You know, he's lived for a long time. He could live a little bit longer, so he's going to be sitting here and just basically casting buffs from the high ground. Very, very wizard thing to do, right? Just kind of sitting in a safe spot and buffing your warrior-type characters as they move in and fight. Now, a little bit unfortunate here. Jajaf's Cursed Blade going to be giving an anti-large bonus. These Chaos Trolls not going to trade well at all against these units. Probably want to find a way to like rebuffer them, although if you're going to go for an Alpha Strike on those spears, pull some Chariots in, it could actually be a favorable fight, all things considered. Burning Head getting in there. Chaos Warriors up on the point. Capture weight is really in flux right now. And it seems like the Warriors of Chaos, obviously their unit quality here is a little bit better. Like Chaos Warriors, a single Chaos Warrior could probably beat 2 Nehekar Warriors and cost 200 less. It depends. If they got fully surrounded, probably not. But in a straight up fight, if you just had like one Chaos Warrior go like head to head and like in a line, they could take several units of Tomb King's infantry. They'll beat Tomb Guard. Their defensive stats are really good. Their offensive output for a shielded unit is incredible with 37 and 36. And yeah, Chaos Warriors are a really good infantry unit. Like, I really, really like them. It's one of the reasons why Chaos is just easier to play in general, is their infantry quality is pretty good. It certainly doesn't mess around. So, Archaon the Ever-Chosen, he's like, I have not taught you this lesson, old man, as Kotzep's going to be running up and trying to put some moves on him in his little bathrobes here. Archaon the Ever-Chosen will be able to beat him down, especially if he pops Slayer of Kings, which he did. And Grand Hierophant Kotzep going to be taking a big shot right there. I would imagine huge blow, lots of damage. Burning Head going to be going down from Archaon once again on the Nehekar Warriors. And Kotzep is basically going to die here for sure. Archaon's going to get the kill, and it looks like, ooh, that was really nice. Sending up Hounds, Hellstriders, like both of them which are like around 9,500 speed to get that back cap, really nice. So Archaon kills Kotzep, Chaos gets the triple cap, Tomb Kings are pushed off the middle. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that super sweaty game there. It was, yeah, this must have been a World Championship game because World Championships using only 2 global bans. So pretty much what the real Dark Wizards will do is that they'll just ban something. Like I had a tournament match the other day. I typically ban like the really broken stuff, like Slaanesh and Warriors of Chaos, Tomb Kings. But you'll run into someone who bans just random stuff. Like I ran into somebody who banned like I think it was like Demons of Chaos and like I think it was like Ogre Kingdoms against me, and I was like, and then suddenly you just have to deal with like 2 stupid factions that are just overpowered being left open. So then you have to play them, and it's like. Yeah, I don't know. That's why I kind of like leaning towards the triple global ban in my tournaments, but I don't know. Like, the problem with triple global ban, though, is you can really target ban somebody, too. Like, if you know what the 3 factions they like to play, you could just ban, like, Empire, Dwarves, whatever, right? And it's tricky. Hopefully, Creative Assembly just gets their stuff together and has some nerfs for some of these factions, and then we can, have a nice balanced experience. Anyways, taking a look at the value, Archaon Raid Boss, 3,500. Warriors did very, very good, 1,000 value, and yeah, they grinded and traded well despite being under fire. Hellstriders obviously just super strong, almost 2,000 value on that one. And they shut down a lot of the important Tomb King's tools, right? Like the Eyes of the Desert, like the Ushabti Great Bows, all of them kind of got crumped. So GG, well played. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys, Dr. Jellyfish and Chromo Sumo, for sending this in, and we will see you all on the other side.